It's time for our Seen and Unseen segment. We expose the cultural stories of the day. And for that, we turn to Fox News contributor Raymond Arroyo. Raymond, President Zelensky addressed Congress today virtually.
He did indeed, and he used the address, Laura, to ask for planes, a no-fly zone. He used heart-wrenching video to make his case. Then he addressed President Biden directly. Listen.
It's not enough to be the leader of the nation. Today it takes to be the leader of the world. Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace. Strong, is brave and ready to fight for the life of his citizens and citizens of the world.
Now, Laura, now that's a curious thing there. I mean, God bless Zelensky. He's facing this thug Putin who is killing civilians. He kills people in his own countries. He's a monster. But he's saying here that somehow Biden has to be a leader of the world, a citizen of the world. Well, no, just as Zelensky is committed to the Ukrainian people first, Biden needs to be committed to the American ideal. And that's what he's doing, promoting peace, hopefully, and working for that peace in multiple ways. So I think we need some clarity here. And most Americans don't realize, Laura, Zelensky was an actor and comedian who started in a show called Servant of the People. It was about a high school teacher who finds himself president of Ukraine, which the actor eventually became. He named his political party Servant of the People. This is an amazing example of art presaging life. Watch.
We decided to take your country to the European Union.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wow. All the Ukrainians and all of our country, we've been waiting for this so much time.
Ukrainians?
Yes, Ukrainians.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's a mistake. I was calling to Montenegro.
You Putin.
In some ways, Laura, the whole story's right there. The U.S. and Europe made overtures, Putin felt threatened, and Zelensky became the Ted Lasso of the World Leaders Club.
Well, meanwhile, Biden, he's looking more like, what, Anthony Hopkins in the father. Well,
yeah,
he was this yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah, this is yesterday. Watch.
There's been a little change in the arrangement of who's on the stage because of the First Lady's husband contracting COVID. But look at this room and what you see. Pardon? That's right. She's fine. It's me. That's not together. The second lady, the first gentleman. How about that?
Laura, so he had COVID, the president. Doug Emhoff is the second lady. He's not sure of anything, and I really worry about the president going to Europe. There's some breaking news tonight, that Iran nuke deal, just to show you how he says one thing, Putin is a war criminal. Here's what they're doing on the policy front. In that Iran nuke deal, guess who gets the $10 billion contract and all sanctions waived to build the Iranian nuclear plants? Russia. It's in the Iran nuke deal. This is mind-blowing what's happening. So this administration better get its story together with its policy. Right now, they are at odds.
Well, I would take issue with this idea that Biden is pursuing peace. I think he sees what Obama saw in Syria, which is why he stepped back from the red line, drew the red line. He shouldn't have drawn it because he realized, the American people don't want this, so Biden stepped back. Obama stepped back, and now Biden's kind of doing that same thing. He knows that it's too risky to get involved in some, protracted military adventure in Ukraine.
He's throwing billions at this thing, but I applaud his restraint. There are a lot of people on the left and the right telling him, send planes, we've got to do more. Zelensky's doing the big emotional push. This is sober statescraft if he sticks to the plan. But this Iran nuke deal contradicts everything he's saying. One good bit of news on the Ukraine front. Pope Francis had a video call with Patriarch Kirill of Moscow, who has supported Putin's invasion. The Pope told him today, war is always unjust, and that they as religious leaders must not use the language of politics, but the language of Jesus. He's also doing a big consecration on March 25th, consecrating the country of Russia, which is a big deal and an important one.
I believe this is the first time on the Ingram angle that Raymond Arroyo has said something truly, just completely positive about Pope Francis. So that's
not true. I report the truth, Ingram. Look, finally, if Zelensky was looking for a citizen of the world leader, he should have turned on Netflix. Barack Obama is hosting a new documentary called Our National Parks.
That's
not
nice.
Yosemite or Glacial Bay.
What?
Global national parks, Laura.
Join me in this celebration of our planet's greatest national parks and wilderness. This sleepy sloth might just save us all. This is a journey through the natural wonders of our shared birthright.
Laura, along with the $1 billion of armaments, I hope Obama sends the sleepy sloth to Ukraine. They could use the help.
The sleepy sloth, was that a dig at Biden? What was that? I mean,
no, it's a sleepy sloth in a tree at one of these national parks in a foreign country.
Got what, 100? He and Michelle got what, 125 million in their Netflix deal. Was it? Looked like he was in Hawaii, just where a green screen in the back, and it was so nice. No, it looks like a nice show.
Beautiful footage.
Yeah, well, $125 million, Raymond. Thank you so much.